Thank you, everybody, for being here. I will try to introduce briefly both Tamas and the book, because this book is the result of activities by the nonprofit organization Tamas that was co-founded by Sara and myself. Tamas is an Arabic word that has to do with touch. It's the point of contact, or the touch of fingers on an instrument, or the point where a tangent touches a curve. And Tamas is a nonprofit that's been working mostly between the US, Morocco, also France, at conceiving and producing intercultural arts projects. And one of the enduring projects of Tamas has been the Tamas Translation Seminar that has happened every summer for almost 20 years, curated by Sarah Riggs and Cole Swenson for most of those years. And the idea of it is to bring poets together in a room, physical when possible, virtual when pandemics hit, with the idea that translation is also this kind of, has to do with Tamas, with the coexistence of bodies in a room, and with texts touching each other, with the idea that the translation seminars of Tamas have been seminars where poets translate other poets. So where we're trying to think of translation as a place of creation and not as just a way of bringing a text across into a different language. So not just something that puts the author at the center and then the translator next, but everybody who was participating was both translating and being translated, was kind of confronting their work with the work of another poet who primarily writes in another language. And this book is a kind of a selection from the work of the translation seminar, and it presents the poetry of 15 contemporary Arab poets, presenting their texts in the originals and in the translation. I should say this book is not an anthology. It's not trying to be representative of something you could call Arabic poetry. It's a subjective trace of the work of the seminars I just described. While it's not an anthology, it's still an abundant kind of book. It will give you an idea of I guess the aesthetic breadth and the political depth of Arabic poetry. And I want to say that maybe one of the originalities of the book is that in addition to the poems presented in two languages, so sometimes Arabic French, sometimes Arabic English, sometimes English French. In addition to the poems, we've asked every contributor to write a statement to introduce the poems or to reflect on the work of the translation seminar. And those statements have kind of exceeded our expectations. They're very beautiful, very profound, and I think they enrich the book immensely. You probably won't hear those statements today, but you will hear a great selection of the poems in the book, because most of the contributors are here in the room, which is amazing because a number of the contributors have not necessarily met in real life or in virtual life before. So we're maybe this is the first time that so many of us are in the same or on the same screen. So I hope you'll enjoy this. I should also say that today is a day of worldwide mobilization for Palestine. There are demonstrations everywhere. If you are in New York, there is one that starts at Washington Square Park after 1 p.m. I know I will be running there after we finish. So find a demonstration where you are and go if you can.